This is how I would add a text box to my TradingView chart. First of all, we need to load up a chart on TradingView. And for this video, we've loaded up the euro against the US dollar. In order to add a text box on our chart, we need to take our mouse and look towards the left-hand side of our screens. Once there, we need to look for this T icon where you can simply left-click. Then you need to place your cursor anywhere on your chart. And once you left-click again, you will see that a text box has now appeared. You can edit this by clicking on the gear wheel, which will prompt you to this window here. You can add a text, you can change the size of the text, and even the color of the text itself. Moreover, you can add a background, you can add a border, or you could even wrap the text. Now, one of the uses for using a text box would be for putting in the chart that you're looking at. It is far easier for someone who is looking at your analysis to see a large text icon, which prompts them to see which chart you're looking at, rather than looking at smaller text at the top left-hand side of your screen. So we could add in euro against the US dollar. So that's euro USD. And then we can place that at the top of our screens so that once we export this, it would be far more easier to see. Moreover, you can use a text box to note certain events or even your thoughts. Let's say, for example, peace negotiations with the US and Iran had occurred at the 8th of April at 4 p.m. I could add a text box and write here, peace negotiations. I could then optimize this to make this slightly smaller, and I can use this as a reminder for certain events. Or I could even write my hypothesis or even some theories. So these are two uses for the text box. Now, you can also lock a text box in place. So you can see we have this text box and this text box here. Let's say we lock the euro against the US dollar. That means when I try to delete the euro against the US dollar, you can see that a warning has appeared on my chart. If I had not locked it, then it would be simply removed. There is also another feature for a text box, which is by anchoring the text box. So the euro against the USD text box is now anchored. And let's just add in quickly something as a text box here. And now this is unlocked. So this is unanchored and this is anchored. Look what happens when I drag my screen to the left. You can see that the unanchored text box is moving towards the right, whereas the anchored text box is staying at one place. So this can be a constant. So these are two uses for the text box, and this is how I would place them on my chart.